30 days ago, I bought this rope from Weight of the Rope, and this has been my progress learning rope flow from scratch. Now, if you don't know what rope flow is, this is essentially a demonstration. Now, it's basically a way of moving better, more biomechanically efficient. You're moving your head over your foot and you're aligning your bones in the correct way. And essentially you do 1,000 reps of spinal movements and 1,000 reps of lining your body up without even realizing it, because it's a practice in itself. So over time, because you've done these thousands of reps again and again and again, your body almost downloads this form and these movement patterns without you realizing it. So you start walking in a different way, you start running in a different way, you start mobilizing your spine just day to day without even realizing it. So it's a really great way of that. And for myself, I trace it more as a way of warming up, getting some good spinal motion, moving my shoulders a bit more, and yeah, just kind of like learning to transfer my body weight and power through my body, almost connecting my body as one unit, essentially, right? So this rope here is called the Golden Teacher, and it's one of the few ropes on Way of the Rope. Really great rope, super high quality, it feels good, and it's been really amazing to play around with. It's been really fun. So I've been learning mainly from videos from Tim Sheath from his biomechanics school online, Tim's gym, and a little bit from David Weck and some YouTube videos online. But I want to share my progress because I first picked up this rope and I thought, man, I've been doing parkour for 8 years, calisthenics for like 14. I move my body well. I'm going to learn this really easy. I picked this up and I tried practicing the dragon roll, one of the first moves you learn, and I just kept hitting myself, and I thought, right, I've got to film this just to see my progression, because it's not often I learn a brand new skill when it comes to movement. So let me film this because I want to kind of show people the process and show people that you're going to start off pretty rough, especially even if you have been experienced with other movement sports, but through persevering and being patient and gradually breaking down these techniques, you can get good at it and you can really enjoy it. So this has been my progression with it. So enjoy watching this breakdown, and let me know what you think. So this is day one of getting the rope, and I'm just trying to practice a dragon roll here, and I just couldn't figure out how this was not going to hit my legs. It took me maybe 20 minutes to figure out, but then I started learning if you turn at the right time, that's the best way for it to skip your legs. But I hit myself in the legs there, always hitting myself with the rope. But you can see I'm starting to get a bit more of an idea of when to turn, and you can see here, I've got it a lot better, but it's still in my arms a lot. So I refine it a bit more after a few more tries, and yeah, it looks a lot smoother here. You can see way smoother, turning at the right time, less in my arms. So the next day I'm in the gym, and I'm just trying to tie these things together. The underhand moving into the dragon roll here. And then once I've done the dragon roll a little bit, twisting around again 90 degrees and going into the overhand, and then coming around the other way, so back into the dragon roll here. Essentially just trying to get my first 360, going through the fundamentals and seeing if I can do it, making sure I'm moving right. And here on the first, you can see I'm overemphasizing. I'm twisting too much, I'm feeling it too much, and it's just looking a bit over the top. But I'm still trying to work on those 360s there, getting it a bit smoother, just seeing how it feels to move in a different way. So a few days on from there, and I'm now trying to go for your overhand matador and trying to look at the 3-stroke matador. So this took me a good while to figure out. I just couldn't understand how to get the rope twisting that 3rd stroke. It really kind of it took a bit of patience, to say the least. But the rope is patient and the rope is forgiving. They're the things you're kind of taught in the beginning. So I started to get an idea of how it was moving, but I was still kind of unsure of it. My body kind of knew what to do, but my mind still couldn't figure it out. So I'm still kind of it's still twisting around my hand. I'm getting the odd okay rep, getting the principle, hit myself in the ear again there. It happens so many times, you wouldn't believe me if I told you how many times it hit me in the head. Again there, but here we go, there's a good one. Just trying to get that twist there, emphasizing kind of that 3rd stroke, and I'm getting the idea of it now. I'm trying to get my body involved and kind of snap and twist from the legs there. Still kind of coming off axis a bit, but it's working a fair bit better here. And this was a bit later on in the day, hit myself in the ear there again. Thankfully my earphones were staying on okay. But yeah, we're moving a bit better now, and I'm understanding it a bit more. I'm taking it a little bit slower, really emphasizing those movements and getting it quite good. Now come through to the 8th, right? This is what, 9 days in? I'm doing alright with the 3-stroke matador, got it a bit faster. Maybe it's a little bit much in the arms right now. But I'm trying to tie this into the 360 now. So I've got the 3-stroke matador into the dragon roll, and I'm just going to come back out actually forwards, so maybe it's more like a 180. Try it on the other side as well, but that was that. So this is me trying to learn the underhand sneak, and this was the hardest one yet. It kept hitting me in the face. I genuinely had no idea what was going on. That hurt. That one hit me in the eye and took my earphone out. But I just couldn't understand where my hands were meant to be. But then I got a couple of them and I thought, right, okay, keep doing it. Don't stop. Just let my body flow with it. Forget about thinking. And let's just get that pattern ingrained. And I got it okay on both sides there. I kind of understood it, learned when to twist. And then I tried tying it into both sides here. With kind of like a beat in the middle, just to take my time, and that worked quite well. It was moving well. Nicer on my left than it was on my right, but it was okay. I got the idea of it, but this took me a good while. Moving through onto the 21st here. So I'm trying to do the overhand sneak, and I think this is how you do it. It's still something I'm working on. I've not really touched on it since the 21st, but I kind of got the idea after it hit me in the back of the head quite a lot and the side of the head, but I think this was the rough idea of it. I'll need to go through and run through again, but if we go through a couple days now to the 24th, I thought I'd just play around with a bit of spontaneity and just kind of flow with it. There's no patterns I'm trying to go on. I'm letting the rope flow and I'm just moving with the rope, right? And I'm a little bit more robotic here compared to later on, but you can see kind of like the idea I'm going for here. Trying to move with it, moving back and forward there, still making my mistakes as they are, but I'm kind of getting good at the underhand sneak. I tried to throw in a few of the jumps there, figuring that out as like a new move, which was quite fun. But yeah, it was flowing quite nicely. It was moving quite well. Still a little bit stiff here. As I continue practicing this and kind of getting a feel for the flow of the rope, I started kind of letting the rope go a bit more and almost becoming a bit more animalistic, if you get me. I mean, you can see here, I'm starting to play with it a bit more compared to when I was earlier. Like, we're throwing a few more things in there and just letting the momentum take you. And it feels good. It's proper fun, to be fair. Trying to get that 360 didn't work too well. I was trying a bit of like one arm flow. Never really done this, but I thought I'd just play around with it and just see how it feels. It wasn't the best, but we'll crack on with that. Continue training. But you can see here, this is what I meant by I'm feeling and looking a lot more animalistic in the way that I'm just flowing and moving, and it's just pure momentum now. I'm not really thinking too much. I'm allowing the rope to go where it wants to go, and I'm just kind of like moving with it, you know. Going for like some underhand sneaks with the walk in there, which is quite nice. It felt quite good. After getting that done a fair few times, hit myself in the face there a bit in the legs, but we're moving. This was a sick one, a 360 into an underhand sneak, which was nice. And then here we're just flowing with it. We're moving so much better now, because I was doing this for maybe like 40 minutes to an hour, and I've really got an idea for how the rope wanted to move, how I wanted to move. And just kind of thought about it less and moved a bit more. Still hit myself, of course. I mean, I'm less than a month in at this point, but I'm very happy with kind of the progress here and just learning to kind of integrate these moves, because essentially that's what it is, isn't it? We isolated the moves, we learned to integrate them into patterns, and now this is kind of like my improvisation, you know. I've gone through a lot of the isolation and we're just flowing with it, moving with those underhand sneaks. Again, these feel so good, into like overhands, back through to underhands. I really enjoy trying to work on some like 360 twists, kind of like moving around 360 or keeping the rope going there, which is really fun. And again, you can see here, it's just flowing so much better than in the previous clips. Just moving more naturally, kind of like feeling the rope out. And yeah, because this was the first day I ever tried this kind of spontaneous work. And it's definitely my favourite part of it, because it gets our heart going a bit. It's a little bit faster, and coming from like a parkour background, this conservation of momentum is what I'm used to. Not that I won't still do the, you know, slower stuff. That's the bread and butter of this practice, but the movements are happening so much nicer here, and it's so much more enjoyable. But really, you have to hit yourself in your head. You have to look a little bit silly. You have to go into it with that beginner's mindset in order to come out of it looking smoother and enjoying it a bit more. That's what I've kind of learned from this. But yeah, this is kind of like, what, 25 days in, 26 days in. So yeah, it was moving well, and I'm pretty happy with how it's going so far. And so this is on the 28th of June, so pretty much a month from day one. And I'm not really trying anything specific now, more so just warming up. So it's a much more relaxed pace, no fancy twists or anything like that, but you can definitely see the underhand sneaks are moving a lot better, and they've kind of like become my new standards, this kind of, movement there. Again, nothing super fancy, but I'm definitely very comfortable with this level, kind of for a warm-up there, which is quite nice. But that's kind of the progress over the month, which I'm very happy with. I think I've moved well with it, and it's definitely a really fun warm-up and a fun way of moving. I definitely recommend you buying a rope and trying this out.